course. Matcha, thank you so much for the raid. Let me, if a mod could shout out Matcha, that would be very cool and fun and sexy. But it's time for a very, very normal, very relaxed, and very fun stream. I'm sure this will go fantastic. All we have to do is just get to Firelink. That's all we have to do. Is get the Firelink, and that's our goal for today. Is get back to Firelink and talk to the Loch Ness Monster. So, shout out to Skittles on YouTube who gave me a whole ass walkthrough in the comments of the YouTube mod. I was given directions, okay? And I'm going to read those directions to you so you can help hold me accountable. Well, welcome in, everybody. Hello. So, here are the directions I was given. And we're gonna see if we can follow them. Welcome in, everybody, though, if you are new in town. My name is EB Games, and I make bad choices. First time here, well, welcome. We are just about to have a very calm, relaxing Dark Souls stream. It's gonna be just so chill, so calm. Just like you could even fall asleep to it, bro. It's gonna be so chill. So here were the directions I was given. Do not go through the demon ruins just yet. You'll need to go back to Firelink and meet Mr. Loch Ness Monster and speak to him. He'll tell you to travel to Anorlando, then go to Undead Parish, and then go to Sen's Fortress, the gate where Onion Man was sitting. Fight the, what do you mean lies? Me? Lie? I would never. You come into my stream, you call me a liar. No, but okay, fight the boss, Iron Golem, then you'll be transported to Orlando, and then there's also a ring I need to get in Blight Town that will help me get through the mud. Wait, what do you mean Psycho Face? I'm not. Wait. What? I don't see what the issue is. Wait, we're not, no, we're gaming now, okay? No more stalling, we're gonna play the fucking game, okay? And and I've lost my hands. Oh, great, let me just move my hands down here. I got this little, like, so if some of you are wondering, by the way, how VTubers, like, do stuff, and, like, they have, like, hands and shit, I just downloaded this PNG. And it's like cute because I can like put it into my model and it looks like I'm gaming. Isn't that cute? But it's like what? Isn't everyone gonna talking about faces? Pretty much just don't call me ugly because if you do, I'll cry. Are your hands retractable as well? I mean, like in real life? Cause like maybe I haven't tested that out yet. Let me make sure the game volume isn't gonna like. Okay, I think that's fine. Let me turn the desktop volume up a little bit. So. We're gonna get to Firelink, and it's gonna be a-okay, cool beans. So we defeated the spider mommy lady. We got through Blight Town, and now we're in this hairy ass butthole. Okay, so I don't know where to go. I'm gonna be honest. So we don't have enough souls to level up, which is kind of annoying. We need 1K more souls to level up. So I guess the question is, where did I come from? Where did I go? Cotton Eye Joe. Want a guide? Yeah. I do have a guide. I do have it on my monitor. I have the YouTube comment on from Skittles on the monitor. You came from a woman. You're telling me I was inside a woman? That's crazy! But welcome in, everybody. Fun fact, cotton eye is a disease. Is it like cotton mouth? No, cotton mouth is just like a thing you get when you're like dry mouth, right? But welcome in, everybody. Hello. I request that you make the hands of controller comically larger to correspond with you. Wait, what would that look like? That would look so dumb. Wait, hold up. That'd be like, hi. You're going into the same place as everyone else. Hell. Welcome in, everybody. Hi, guys. Hi. Okay, I think we go back here because I remember going down originally. It gives you depth. Oh, hell yeah. I think my large balls bring out my eyes. You know what I'm saying? Business as usual. Yeah. Don't mind me talking about my massive pee-pee and being bad at video games. Okay, that's where I killed Spider Mommy. Okay, but welcome in everyone. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed the vibes. Booba over bros, hell yeah, gamer, hell yeah. I don't know, bros before hoes, but like if I see a lady with fat tits, then like fuck it, you know.
Gaslight,
I don't have a
gatekeep,
maiden.
girl boss.
Thank you, Padeco, for the follow. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. You are now Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. I don't have a woman to dismiss. I don't have a follower. What do you want me to do? Just. I could tell David to get out, but he's like, man's just playing Diablo. What do you want me to do with him? The women were looking for Cotton Eye Joe because he gave them many a disease. Is it like an STD? I don't know. I'm still not over the fact that was it standard something in this game is called STD. I really thought that we were like, it said like STD bombs in the character creator. I really thought we were throwing gonorrhea at somebody. Why'd you turn around? Oh, why did I turn around? That's a good point. I got distracted talking about STDs and maidens. I'm sorry. Okay, so here's the thing is if you're new in town, I have crippling ADHD. Like really bad. I did remember to take my meds today. Okay, I did remember to do that because sometimes I stream, a lot of times I stream on the weekends, so I'll think like, oh, it's weekends. I don't need to work today. I don't need to take my medication. And so I don't do that. And then I'm all fucked up. And then today I did take my medication and I'm still fucked up, but that's okay. It's part of my charm, you know? I don't know. It's a lot better than it used to be. As some of you might know, my insurance cucked me and kicked me off my, like, big boy ADHD meds because I was on a dentist and Wellbutrin. And my insurance just out of nowhere was like, hey, you don't need to be on a dentist anymore. And I was like, okay. All right. And I was very upset about that. But then they just I just kind of, like, adapted to it. I got on some, like, supplement type shit because, like, I think my focus is, like, okay, like it's not great, you know, but it's like it could be worse. Is this what it feels like to fall in love? I do have to give the disclaimer, I don't do well. I do, girlfriend. Can you, sir, I'm monologuing, can you shut the fuck up? Bro, what is your problem? Bro, what is this dude's deal? I'm monologuing, leave me alone. Okay, I always have to give the disclaimer. I do girlfriend experience as a VTuber, but you have to, if you want me to be your anime girlfriend, you have to be okay with my boyfriend being your boyfriend too. Which really, if you think about it, economically, it's a steal, right? You get 2 bitches for the price of 1, you know? Anyway, that's just how I'd suck dick. That's the thing, it's like, as long as you're cool with, like, being with my boyfriend, too, then, like, fuck yeah, we can party, you know? Not in, like, the forget what I was planning to say. David said not today. I mean, David did say he'd put on the maid outfit if his student loans were paid off, you know? What if I just want David? You know what, that's understandable, honestly. Most of my chat is like, yeah, fuck this bitch. Where's Daddy David? Hey, can you, excuse me? Wait, where did you come from? Oh, I missed. Stop! Go away! Oh my god. What? Get this camera out of here! Oh my god. Okay, hold up. Can you get double married for tax double write-offs? Okay, here's the thing, is me and David, like, unironically were like, what if we just got married to pay off your student loans? And the thing is it's like, it's not a bad idea, but it's not a great idea. I don't know if David wants me, oh shit. Well, that didn't work out. I don't know if David wants me publicly saying the amount of his student loans, though. That's kind of a personal question. But I mean, if someone here wants to be a sugar daddy and just give us $100,000, I don't think I don't think he's gonna complain. What's your goal going this way? I have no idea. I just know this is the way I came from, so that must be the way I go. You know what I mean? But oh shit, I'm about to die. Okay, here, I need to be left alone. Everyone is mean to me. I want to go home, okay? I need to leave. But I also do need to find the ring. There was like the ring. There's a much easier way. What? Where? I do need to find the ring though. The ring that makes it, stop. God, this guy like, stop. Whatever, I don't want that liquid. I don't want that, oh, the elevator. I forgot about the fucking elevator. Oh, can we? Oh no. Are you alive? Okay, that's dead, so that's good. I walked past it, god damn it. Isn't it like, where is it? Because I remember the elevator, but I'm like, what, bro, are you good? Are you alive? Okay, you do your thing. I'm leaving. Okay, I'm going this way, and we're gonna figure out the rest later. This is the most ADHD streamer I've ever watched. Here's my thing, is I feel like some people, whenever I talk about, like, my various mental illnesses on, like, TikTok or whatever, there's always someone that's like, another girl faking having ADHD and autism for clout, and I'm like, bro, if that was just how easy it was to get clout, I would have had so much clout in, like, middle school. Oh my god, we really did need a doctor to tell me I have autism. Bro, my middle school bullies had that shit on lock before anyone did, and they didn't need to go into student debt for medical school. Like, fuck. Why do we have psychologists? Wait, who is this? What is that? What the fuck is that? What? Are you, like, lost? Are you, like, missing something? A leech? God damn it, we forgot to disable the drop it. Okay. I'll switch my weapon. I'll be a good noodle. I'll switch it. Man or woman, I throw hands for ya. Thank you, gamer. I mean, it doesn't really bother me because, like, I kind of get why people are concerned about it in a way. But, like, at the same time, it's like, here's my argument has always been, oh my god, oh. Okay, I don't think I'm supposed to go this way. I don't think I'm supposed to go this way. I'm gonna be honest. Let me see. They call her the clout queen. Listen, if I can use my minute sense of, like, people will say, they'll be like, oh, you're taking away resources from actually autistic people. What resources? I've gotten jack shit fuck on nothing since I got diagnosed. All I got was discriminated at work. I didn't get shit, you know? But I think, there's the elevator. Wait, no, wait, where is the elevator? I think I know where it is, but I also don't know where it is. Where the fuck? Okay, hold on. I think I know where elevator is, because that's where I came from, next to the bonfire. Oh, wait, isn't it, like, past here? The people who usually call people for faking mental illnesses are usually not mental ill themselves. Yeah, I feel like it's like, I don't know. I remember I was talking to my dad because I had an interview for a thing. It was an interview for, like, a content creation thing. And I was really nervous about it. And me and my dad were going through, like, questions they might ask me. Because my dad's kind of become, like, my dadager. My dad manager, you know. How hot's David? I mean, I'm kind of biased, but he's pretty hot, you know. Like, he's so hot, he, like, took me on a date to the gas station last night. I asked to go to a fancy Italian restaurant, and that's where he took me. I asked him specifically if we could go to the gas station, because I wanted to eat really shitty gas station food. Like, I asked, and he delivered, you know? He bumped you full of the gas. Stop. There is actually, I don't know if I still have it, but there was this one time, like, 7 billion years ago, I did commission hentai of me and David, which, like, I don't know what you all are gonna do with that information. I don't even know if I still have it, but it's out there somewhere, you know? It's out there somewhere. But, okay, here's the thing, is, can I ask, this could start problems, okay? This could start problems, but what do you prefer in terms of gas station food? Right? Because I love eating shitty food that will make me wanna poop my brains out. Like, can you? I'm talking. Leave me alone. But do you like Wawa or Sheetz better? I've never had gas station food. Well, there's always a good day to start, champ. We got to start somewhere, okay? Because I am a Sheetz bitch through and through. I need this guy. Oh fuck! I'm toxic. It's League of Legends. Okay, hold on. Get this shit out of here. Okay. Anyway. Oh jeez, I hope I don't die. I still don't, wait. Is this where, I think I know, oh, wait, what the fuck, wait, whoa, I'm overwhelmed, wait, hold on. Everyone's shooting at me and I don't like it. I want them to stop, make them stop, stop, you're bullying me and I don't like it, Oh shit, I'm gonna die. Here, excuse me, sir. This is so stupid. Okay, do we have the thingy that lets me, like, get rid of this thing? Yeah, there we go. Okay. That's gotta count for something, right? Okay, this area looks familiar, though, but I don't know where it goes. Like, it kind of looks like where I got from, you know? The skeleton guide. But is a collar a good investment? What do you mean, like, for a dog or, like, for you? Like, I'm not, like, I'm never gonna kink shame somebody. You know, you do what makes you happy, bestie. But, like, for myself, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm still God damn it. Okay, how do I, Where's my soup? This thing. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I don't think that helped. Shit, okay. Let me see. Okay, I know I need to go somewhere, but I don't know where it is. But that was a question. Do you guys have Wawa or Sheets near you? And if you have both, which one do you like better? Because we have both near me, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I am a Sheets bitch. Also, I think I'm gonna die. So there's that. Nice knowing you. God damn it. I don't know where. Okay, so we found the... I died, right. Congratulations. Oh, fuck, I forgot the thing. Wait. There we go. That's why I died, really. We didn't have the sacred number. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to go down the ladder, because I hadn't been there before. You need the blooming mush clump? I'm going to start calling... If I ever talk to a woman, I'm going to call her that as a pet name. Hey, hello, mama. You're my blooming mush clump. I'm sure that would get the ladies all riled up. You know what I'm saying? But, something... We have come and go. I always forget come and go is, like, real. Like, I forget that's, like, an actual thing. Like, I always thought it was a joke, and then we actually drove past one on a road trip, and I was like... Holy fuck. This is real. Okay. There's my big boy weapon. Okay. Up the ladder. Okay. Here we go. We're gonna go up the ladder. And we're not gonna deal with any of these bitches. We're gonna come and we're gonna go. Okay? We're gonna blow our load, then hit the road. Okay? Okay. Glad we're on the same page. Wait. Hey! You're in my personal space, and I do not like it. Leave me alone. God, fuck, I just wanted to, okay. Gravity, it's the law. Are you alive? Okay, let's go. Right, okay, directions. Hold on, I'm distracted. Hold on. Hold on. Wait, no. No, my souls! Wait, shit, I was so fucking shitposting! I forgot. I forgot there were souls at stake, and that was should I feel bad laughing about a woman's disability? Joke's on you. I'm non-binary. I deserve it. I really deserve it. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, we're gonna give this another go. And then I think I'm still walking in the wrong direction. Okay, here's what we need to do. Fuck the souls. Okay, fuck the souls. We're gonna take a breath. Welcome in, everybody who just came in. I'm having a should I feel bad about? I'm trying to. Oh my God, they're trying to kill me. I'm trying to update the death counter, and I'm still getting murdered. Okay, I have ADHD. I mean, here's the thing. Is like if I was just like one of your pals, one of your gamer, leave me alone! I'm talking. Oh my God! Do you know the concept of personal space? Jesus. Okay. Anyway, here's the thing: is if I was one of your pals, right? If I was one of your besties, and you're like sitting in Discord, right? And you made fun of them, that'd be fucked up. But I'm a streamer. Right? I put myself out there. So, like, really, I'm just, like, milking my disability for content. Which, like, you know what? Actually, yeah. They say, oh, what resources do autistic people have? Well, I'm funny as shit, so, you know, I got that going for me. I can't read social cues, and I'm constantly exhausted, but I'm funny. Wait, hold on. I gotta read this. How the classifications of animals being that if you found a cat... on another planet that was atomically the same as Earth cat, still wouldn't it be wait, hold on, I can't read. Wouldn't be a cat or a feline or a male or part of the animal What? I mean, a cat's a cat, right? Like, you know, how do you fuck up a cat? You know? I did tell you guys that story about that one guy at my school that fucked a cat. That was weird. Yeah, don't live in Yeehaw land. People do weird shit. But I think it would still count, because, like, technically, like, isn't a lion still a cat, if you think about it? Yeah, I told this story, like, a few months ago. Actually, maybe a year ago at this point. But, I grew up in, like, the middle of Yeehaw nowhere. And there was this guy at my school. Do we tell the story again? Do we tell the story again? I'm afraid if I tell the story, then I'm not gonna know where the fuck I'm going. Wait, I kind of see. Okay, I kind of see what the fuck is up. Hold on. Wait. Can you leave? Can you leave? Okay, I'll tell the story and try not to eat shit and die. So basically, when I was in, you know, I don't need this guy's negative energy. I don't need his vibes. He's gonna kill my. Wait. Oh, that's not. Oh, fuck. I thought I could walk on the tree branch like it was some Pixie Hollow type bullshit. Get played on. Hi guys. Hi. You came in, for those who just came in, you came in at a great time. I'm telling the story about that guy that fucked a dog, that fucked a cat at my high school. If you know, you know. But basically, okay, here's what happened. As we have established, I am mentally ill, right? I'm neurospicy, as some of the people call it. You know, some people I know call it being a disappointment, but you know, I just call it being a VTuber, frankly. But basically, when I was in high school, I had to go to a mental institution. That's how you know the story's gonna start good, is when I'm like, yeah, I was at the mental hospital. But basically, what happened is, I remember, so here's the thing, is you know how there's like cliques in like high school and shit like that? There were cliques in the mental hospital too, and I wasn't popular in regular high school, but I absolutely was one of the top bitches in the mental institution, okay? Because like the social hierarchy of like going to like mental institution, like psych ward high school is like, how do I phrase this? Okay, so like, because I don't want to say like I was normal, because like if I was normal I wouldn't have been there. But like there was like the people, like there were people that were like weird to like other people in the mental institution. Like if you were like someone where you're like, yeah, I'm here because I tried to kill my dad, we'd all be like, what, are you crazy? But like we couldn't say that, we weren't allowed to say that. But like you're saying kind of mental, like yeah, like it's like I don't want to do anything crazy, like I was just like suicidal, bro. I didn't want to like do anything weird, you know, like I'm not like those people, I'm just depressed, bro. But anyway, I'm trying to figure out how to get, because obviously that's not the answer, right? We've learned that this is not the answer, but it feels like, oh god damn it, feels like there's something over there. I don't know. Literally a VTuber. Go up, please. Is there a ladder? There's gotta be a ladder. Hold on. Oh, okay, I see. I don't have my glasses on, by the way. But basically, me and all the other, like, depressed bitches, we were, like, our own little clique. And we kind of, like, that's how it was, like, our way of, like, coping with, like, the people that, like, said they were gonna kill us. You know what I mean? Because having people threaten to kill you is kind of like a weird thing to experience in high school. But, you know, I don't think I'm supposed to go this way, but that's okay. Get out of here. Okay, thank you. Okay, here we go. I need to heal, and then I need to, like, do something. Can I crush these pots? Okay, thank you. Here, because I need to get rid of the toxicity in my system. Let's see. There do be stuff here. Is this the down I'm supposed to go? Because that sounded familiar. Because you said down, right? How goes the escape? Not well, but thank you for asking. I appreciate the sentiment. How did I get toxic again? How did this happen? Why does this keep happening to me? Leave me alone. Okay, hold on. Let me, hey! Get out of here. Okay, all right, you need, oh my God. Okay, hold on. You need to go. You're canceled. You're canceled. You need to leave. You need to leave. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, here, let me just go over here. I have the wall to shield me, and then where's the thingy? This thing. There we go. Fuck, that did nothing. They keep getting me with the League of Legends juice. You're right. Here. I know that if I kill him, though, he doesn't respawn. So, like, there's that, you know? You ran out of toxic, beep gone? Oh, great. Love that. Jesus! Okay. We don't need that. We don't need that. Oh, that's the wrong fucking button. Okay. Okay, anyway. Go away. So, but anyway, I'm probably gonna die again. I'm just gonna be so real. Can you just... Okay, thank you. And then we'll do that. Call that a hot dog. Why isn't your flash +2 already? That's a great question. I think I was saving it for another area. I think that's what we were trying to do. But, I don't know why I went over here. I'm gonna be honest. I thought this was the way. I was wrong. Will we get to the fire in time? No. Probably not. But anyway, yeah, so the guy with the cat. So basically, what happened... Do we just TP, actually? Like, do we just, like... Return to bonfire? Isn't there a way? Yeah, can I just... Fuck it. Fuck it. I just don't want to die, bro. I just don't want to fucking die. So basically what happened is, we all had this, like, little clique at the mental hospital, right? And this girl and I don't remember her name, right? This was like over a decade ago, bro. It was a long time since I was in, well, not that long, but it's certainly like an amount of time since I was in high school, you know? So, this girl basically, can you leave? Leave, thank you. She was telling me this story about how, at her old school, there was this guy that fucked a cat. Right? And he was, like, bragging about it, right? He wasn't, like, it wasn't, like, someone, like, found out this, like, deep, dark secret, which, like, it should have been a deep, dark secret. But he was, like, bragging about, like, flexing on people. Like, he'd take his phone, he'd hold it up to people and be like, guys, look, I fucked my cat. Like, man's had photographic evidence and was just, like, showing it to people. And everyone, rightfully so, was like, hey, bro, that's fucking weird. What the hell is wrong with you? And the bullying got so bad that he had to transfer schools. And here's the thing. Bullying is wrong. However, I think exceptions can be made for people who do fucked up shit like that. Like, yeah, I don't think that's good. I think that's very not good, actually, as a matter of fact. I keep going this way. It's like I'm, like, hardwired to do that. Like, it's muscle memory now. Isn't that illegal? Pretty sure, yeah. Yeah, I think it is, actually. Why did he do that? I have no idea. But she told me this story, and I was like, oh my god, that's crazy! Like, much like the reaction you guys are having now, right? I was like, damn, that's wild. That's insane, bro. Ladder. Okay, do we go up another ladder? Yeah, because that, like, there's gotta be, because this looks familiar, right? Okay, I want to kill that other blow dart guy, because he's really killing my vibe. I'm gonna be honest. There's a different ladder? Okay, chat's on a delay. So I'm like, which ladder? Okay, we're gonna kill this guy to avenge my father, and then we're gonna go to the right ladder. No. I'm just testing you. I'm testing the shit. Thank you, Lock On. Very cool. Thank you. See, that was all a test to see if you're paying attention. Okay, but anyway, so I was like, oh my god, that's crazy, right? And a few days passed, right? And I'm doing my thing. And here's the thing is, when you're at the mental hospital, you don't want people to know you're at the mental hospital, right? You don't want to, like, expose yourself, I guess, because it's like, I had just told everyone basically that I was like, well, actually, I don't think I told anyone, you know? So the ladder's in here. Is the ladder going up or down? Is it a down ladder or an up ladder, okay? Is it this ladder? No, because that's the one up. Okay, upsies. Okay, we need uppies. Okay, there's a lot of things happening right now. Okay, go back and up. Is it... I need to put my glasses back on. Did you get the souls down there? I think I did get the souls. This is a lot. I'm a little stressed out, but that's okay. Don't... Why is it squirting on me? Leave that alone. Oh, here it is. Okay, I see it now. I see it. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now we're cooking. Okay. But I remember I didn't want people to know that I was in the mental hospital, right? So I go to the hospital school in the morning. I don't know what level I am. I think I'm like level 30 something. I don't remember. But I go in the morning to the hospital. I get my little smoothie at the hospital cafe thing. And I start heading up the elevator to the thing that we need to go to. Like the room, I guess. There it is. Okay. And what happens is I notice a kid from my school and his mom walk on behind me. And I'm like, oh shit. He's gonna know now that I'm at the mental hospital. And he's gonna go back and tell everybody, and I'm gonna get bullied again, and it's gonna be a whole thing. right? I don't want that. So I start freaking the fuck out low-key. And I'm trying to be cool. I'm hoping, like, maybe he won't recognize me, right? So we're in this elevator. Hi, big boy. We're in this elevator, and I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, I'm fucked. Let's see what, like, floor he gets off of, right? That was my first thought, is, like, maybe he'll get off at a different floor than me, and then he won't know what floor I get off of. Because, like, at the hospital, they have all the floors, like, labeled, right? Okay, sir, you need to go. Okay, thank you. So what happened is I start freaking out, and my floor is the 4th floor, right? So he doesn't get off on the 1st floor. He doesn't get off on the 2nd floor. He gets off with me on the 4th floor, and I'm thinking, wait a minute. You're also crazy, aren't you? Okay. So what happens is he gets off on the same floor as me. And I walk in, and he's, like, talking to, like, him and his mom are, like, talking to, like, some of the, oh, shit, I forgot about the backswing. He's talking about, like, some of the, like, nurses and shit, and he's, like, doing his thing, and I'm thinking, like, okay, this is gonna be awkward for everybody involved, right? This is just not gonna be a good time, you know? I don't like this. Maybe I am gonna go back to the mental hospital. Maybe I'll give them a good hello. You know what? Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. No, I did not jump off the cliff. I slid. I think I just need to run past the big boys. I think that's what I need to do. I just need to run past them. It's gonna be an hour in, and that's when I'm gonna be done telling this fucking story. But anyway, I get off, and he gets off with me. So I'm like, okay, he's just as crazy as I am. Fantastic. Okay. And I remember he comes in with me, and they, like, introduce him and whatnot, and my friend is like, oh, and I was like, what's up? And she's like, Evie. I'm like, what? And she's like, that's him. That's the cat fucker. And I was like, oh. What? Because I was thinking about it, I was like, wait a minute. He did transfer to our school a few months ago. Oh my God, it all makes sense. It's all adding up. So, here's the thing. Months passed, I get better, yay. I get out of the hospital, and there was only one person I was texting when I was in the hospital. I was texting, one of my friends. Welcome in, gamers. I'm telling the cat fucker story. If you know, you know. I was texting one of my friends, and I told him, I was like, hey, you know that guy in our math class? And he was like, yeah, what about him? I'm like, oh yeah, he fucked his cat. And they were like, what? And I was like, I gave him all the tea. I told him everything. And I kind of just thought it would stay between us. Like, I didn't really think about the consequences of my actions. As you can see by the stream, I never really do. But when I come back to school, here's the thing. I came back to school, and I was so ready for everyone to be like, oh, Evie's fucked up. Evie's crazy. Evie's that girl that, like, killed herself or whatever. And I was, like, so worried that I was going to get bullied again, right? But here's the thing. When I came back, no one gave a flying fuck about what I was up to. Everyone and their mom was talking about how the guy in my math class fucked his cat. And I think about that sometimes. And I'm like, you know what? That's crazy. So I just remember, like, I don't remember all of it, but I remember hearing someone yell down the hallway, and I remember hearing him go, I did not fuck my cat. And it's like, bro, we had the receipts, right? So, time goes by, and eventually I tell my parents this story, right? Because I have an interesting relationship with my parents. They hear me say all kinds of weird shit. Right? Yeah, I think we're just gonna run past the big boys. We've done it before. I think we can do it again. And basically, my parents thought this was the craziest shit on the fucking planet. They thought this was absolutely hilarious, right? I guess, like, not hilarious in the sense of, like, oh shit, okay, let me out. Okay, thank you. They thought it was just so bizarre, right? And so I remember me and my parents were out, this was like months later, almost a year later. It was me and my parents and David, and we were at the local Buffalo Wild Wings. And if you're not familiar, Buffalo Wild Wings is a, we'll call it a fine dining establishment. I can hear David laughing in the background. We'll call it a fine dining establishment where one can enjoy various beverages and chicken wings. Wait, I need to go to Firewink. Firewink. I need to go to Firewink. I need to go Firelink, and this said New Londo Ruins, but that did come up. I think I know where I am, actually. But anyway, so we go to Buffalo Wild Wings, and we're like sitting there, we're chilling, waiting for our drinks and whatnot. And lo and behold, our waiter comes over. Who's our waiter? None other than the cat fucker. And I remember, wait, that's the way I came from, isn't it? Yeah, that's where I came from. There's a direct elevator. Okay, let me, like, I think I know what you're talking about. It's, this way, I think? Is it on the cliff? Yeah, I think so. I think I know where I am. But the cat fucker's our waiter, and I have this experience with my parents where I'm like, Mom. No, it was my dad. I was like, Dad. Oh, wait, that's a dragon. I don't want to fuck with that. We're not fucking with that. I was like, Dad. He's like, what? And I'm like, that's the cat fucker. And he was like, what? I'm like, yeah, that's him. The cat fucker. He's real. Like,
you're forgetting the part where you're like, no, don't look at
oh, yeah, I mean, it was like I literally did that, and my dad whips his fucking head around, like, don't look at him. Don't look at him. Yeah, this is where I came from. I'm like 99% sure. Yeah, you keep going back and forth. Yep. I feel like it's down. Like, I feel like I remember this area, though. Like, this looks familiar. Isn't it, like, over... I go through here? Yeah, I did. Okay, I thought... Okay. I feel like I remember something like this, but it was going up. But I guess we'll go down. Okay. But I remember my dad, like, whips around. Do I kill you? You're just chilling. You guys are just chilling. I think I remember this, though. I remember... Yeah! I know where we're at. Okay, real-time ADHD simulation. Use a bow and shoot the dragon. He can't fight back. Oh, that's fucked up. That's really mean to the dragon. But, I tell... But my dad then goes to my mom and is like... Mom's name. That's the cat fucker. And she's like, what? And then he's like, no, don't look. And then my mom also, like, whips around and looks at him. But yeah, that's the story of the guy that fucked the cat at my high school, and now he works at Buffalo Wild Wings, and I haven't seen anything from him in nearly a decade now that I think about it. But yeah, that was the Eebee story time of today. What? How did that even come up? What the fuck were we talking? I guess he got better. I mean, who knows? You know, maybe he's still fucking cats. Okay, we made it back to Firelink. I'm gonna be honest. What do we say? Is there a good time to enter an Eebee Games stream? No, never. TLDR, for those that just came in, guy at my high school fucked his cat, and the only reason I found out about it is because I was at a mental hospital, and the girl at his old school was also at the mental hospital. And that's how I found out. And I told everyone at my school that he fucked his cat, so they would bully him instead of bullying me. Thank you for the hydrate, the posture check. I'm gonna be honest. I thought that would take the whole stream. I don't know why, but I'm dumb as hell. I really thought that would take us, like, significantly longer. It took us 40 minutes, but, like, we did it, you know? The lady? Which lady? Who am I missing? Wait, what? Firekeeper is absent. Cannot light the bonfire? What? What do you mean? What was going on?
Did you ring the second bell?
Yeah?
That is incredible, I must say. But now, we have a new problem.
She was murdered?
It snores, and its breath is lethal.
Why?
This is no laughing matter, I tell you.
Wait, so does that mean I can't light any new bonfires?
Damn, that stench.
I became a villain of that story? Listen, it was self-pre- Here's the thing. Did I spread a rumor?
Maybe it's
yes.
time I do
but I didn't fuck a cat. So, like, I think I've got the moral high ground there. You can light other bonfires, just that one's out? Oh, okay. Well, that's no good. Okay, so let me look back at my notes. Because I know there's something going on, okay? Let me see. Okay, where was it? Meet Mr. Loch Ness Monster and speak to him. He'll tell you to travel to a Norlando. Who's Mr. Loch Ness Monster? If you hunt down the fucker who killed her, you can bring her back. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Then go to Undead Parish. So, do I need to talk to someone here? Is that Mr. Loch Ness Monster? That doesn't look like Loch Ness Monster. That looks like a guy. Up the stairs? Okay. Let's go up the stairs and let's see what the fuck is up. Okay. Is he one of the big boys? Are you Mr. Loch Ness Monster? Are any of you Mr. Loch Ness Monster?
Oh, hello.
Hi.
My guests have finally arrived. I will be departing with them shortly. So, I'm afraid I will be saying goodbye soon. It was a pleasure.
Oh, okay, bye. Wasn't he mean to me? Didn't he, like, call me ugly or some shit? Inside the church with the wet floor? I don't want to go anywhere with a wet floor. Who knows what's been there? It could be water. Could be piss. You never know. That's why you always gotta keep an eye out, chat. Always gotta keep your eyes peeled. Okay. So what compelled you to fuck your cat? Yeah, that's the thing, is we never got a motive. We never learned why. We come into EV Game Stream talking about piss. Yeah, with this stream, somehow everything has happened and nothing has happened. You know? Like, it's one of those streams. Everything happened, but nothing happened. Like, it took me 45 minutes to get back to Firelink. But also I told the cat fucker story again. So, you know. I'm glad you got... I always worry, like, and I've talked about this before, I always worry so much that, like, when I get off topic or when I do shit like this, people get annoyed at me. So hearing that you guys think I'm still funny, even though I... Excuse me! That's not appropriate. That is not appropriate behavior. That is not very kind. Okay, goodbye. Wait, where's the... Okay, wrong stairs. I stared too hard. Okay. Is it that guy? The guy that, like, just looks to... Wait, who is that? Who is that? My intrusive thoughts feed off stuff like this. Well, thank you, Boundary. I appreciate that. I'm glad people like my stories, even if they're kind of... It's just, this is one of those games where it's like, I like telling stories, and, like, there's a lot of, like, quote-unquote downtime.
Both in one piece.
But I'm stupid. Okay, that's not the Loch Ness Monster. He's not guy-like. Okay, that actually does help. So is it... Okay, stairs. It's stairs and up, okay? Stairs, up. Is it... Not those stairs. That's the big boy. Is it up these stairs? Oh! Okay, that... Oh. That's... Big dog! Puppy! I'm glad you enjoy it. I'm really bad at Dark Souls, so I got very nervous when I first started streaming this game that people, like, Dark Souls fans would come in and be mean to me, but everyone that's like, yeah, I came for Dark Souls has been really nice, honestly, and I appreciate it.
The primordial serpent.
He does not sound like what I thought he would. He's all neck, no bod. Oh, the sloppy would be incredible. I didn't.
Of awakening. I wish to elucidate your
I need to think before I speak, actually.
Such enlightenment.
What does that do? Do I seek enlightenment? Can you what's your decision? Sure, I love enlightenment. Fuck it. But yeah, for those confused, I use all pronouns. Like, you literally cannot mess up. I use every single one. All of them. I collect them like Pokemon cards.
Succeed the great Lord Gwyn.
Oh, hell yeah!
So that you may link the fire, cast away the dark, and undo the curse of the undead. To this end, you must visit Anor Londo and acquire the Lord Vessel.
Bro works, hell yeah. Wish I had all the pronouns too. Well, if you just go to every pronoun gym and defeat the pronoun leader, you too can become the pronoun champion and collect them all. Wait, jump down the hole? Oh, okay. Please don't jump down holes. I'm getting mixed messages here. The Lacusi. Okay. I guess we'll go... I'm just looking around, I guess. Wouldn't it be faster to beat you, an existing champion? Yeah, but that's cheating. You can't do that. Cheating is bad. What was it? It was Anor Londo, right? He'd be judging a man for being a but she'll gladly get a blowjob from a lizard. If the lizard consented, you know, wait, weapon at risk. Hey. Oh, well, don't do that. I don't want to... I need to fix my weapon. How do I fix my weapon? Do I have a repair kit? Oh, that's a... Wait, what the fuck is that bird? Wait, hold on. Wait. Why is there a big bird over there? Wait, hold up. Hold up. Hold up. What? What?
Gaslight.
What is that
Gatekeep,
bird
girl boss.
doing? Hi, Venom. Welcome to the stream. You know, Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss, but... I mean, what... That's the bird who carried you here from the beginning of the game? Oh, just a whimsical little guy. I was just like, damn, he's huge. Holy fuck. Okay. I'm doing okay though. Thank you for asking. It took me 50 minutes to do a basic task, but that's okay. What do I want to do? Cause he said here. Can you say the words you said to me again? Because I forgot.
I am pleased to see you well. Is it something urgent?
What do I do? Wait. I can feed him. What happens if I feed him? Is he my
Those who
friend?
seek the realm of lords
We gotta go to the
must
blacksmith guy's
brave
area. Oh
Sen's
god, that's
fortress,
like far.
deadly house of traps. Many have gone before you.
I know Orlando.
None have
It's kind of like a
returned.
Tamagotchi.
Fate has
I want to
chosen you
pet him. Feed him poop. He loves it.
caution.
I don't think that's true, actually. What if I have a Titanite chunk?
Farewell,
Will that...
chosen undead.
Hmm.
I remain here.
Through Sen's
And
Fortress, you
await
get the
thee.
Lord's Vessel. I ordered a katana. Hell yeah, gamer! Sen's Fortress is a previously locked off area near the blacksmith. So that's like all the way... Okay, I think I know where we're going. I do want to check... I want to check fucking... Do I have like the repair kit thing? Can I? Because my weapon is not good apparently. Some stuff you'll eat will give you fewer skulls. Wait, why? Snakes love to eat shit? I thought they ate like birds. I don't know what snakes eat. Oh, excuse me. Okay, Okay, so I need to go in the direction I used to go to get back to Blacksmith Man. That's where I'm going, right? I'm going to Blacksmith Man. Oh, thank you for a posture check. Stretch. Go left from here behind the church people. Wait, chat, stop talking. I need to read. No, chat, chat, I need to. No, I'm trying to read, chat. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to read. You can take the elevator by the group of dorks. Oh, by the big boys? Okay, big boys. No, don't type it. I'm trying to. Chat, you were supposed to help me. Okay. Let's see. Elevator, 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 elevator. Isn't the elevator up here? Behind me. Okay, not the... Oh! Okay, I know where we're going. I know what's happening. I know what's happening. I know what's happening. I know what's happening. I'm happy to... Okay. Let's go over, by the priest. Yeah, the big boys. Hey, fellas. Hey, big fellas. How you doing, big fellas? God. I love thick men. I really do. Let's go over here. And let's see. Aha! Elevator. Is there a mod for this game that, like, adds elevator music to these elevators? Because I really think this would be enhanced by some royalty-free music. I'm gonna be honest. You know, don't give me hope. No. Make one? I don't know how to mod shit. Here's the thing. Okay, so my main content is modded Skyrim. Okay, that's like my shtick. That's what people know me for, right? Is I play heavily modded Skyrim. Can you make one, Kimia? That would go hard. That would go hard as hell. But that's my main shtick, right? Is I play heavily modded Skyrim. So people will come into my TikTok comments seeing that my Skyrim is modded, and they will ask me questions, which kind of makes sense. But the thing is I don't know actual shit about the mods themselves. I click the buttons, I install the mod pack, I call it a day, right? When people will come into my TikTok comments, and they'll be like, hey, I'm having this problem with my load order. I'm like, bro, I am an anime girl on the internet. What do you expect me to do? Like, what is that gonna do with me? You know? Like, how am I gonna help you? You have way too much faith in me. Holy shit. Have the blacksmith fix our shit here too? Okay. Mr. Blacksmith. Okay, let's do this real quick. You're an anime girl on the internet. You know computers. You'd think, like, listen, I will tell you what I do. I open VTube Studio, I turn on my camera, I play video game. That's like 3 things. I'm having this problem with my load order. That sucks, mine works.
Well,
Let's see.
You seem to be doing all right.
I'm doing
Need
okay.
anything for us?
My shit is breaking. So can you repair my shit? But welcome in, gamers. I only install Skyrim for all the cursed ass mods. That's so valid. We still need to do, we haven't gotten to it yet, but we still need to do our, what's it called? We need to do our cursed Skyrim with David, because David owes me a load order. And we haven't gotten to it yet, just because everything's been so fucking busy. But it's coming. It's coming. It'll come. It'll come. Is there big booby Dark Souls mods? I'm sure there are. You know, like I'm positive there are.
Get yourself killed.
I'm gonna try. Wait,
Neither
I
of
have.
us want to see you go hollow.
Yeah, me neither. David owes Evie a load. Shut up.
Well, hello again.
Shut up.
Doing all right.
We're not talking about David's load.
Forged.
David, do you have anything you'd like to say about your load?
Publicly, no.
Privately?
Maybe.
Oh. Anyway, what color is the load? You can't just ask a man what color his jizz is. David, what color is your jizz?
I'm not answering that.
Okay, see? Point proven. Can I not, like, reinforce my weapon anymore? Where's my big spear? I like my big spear a lot. I'd like the cool penis. Do I not? Can I not upgrade it anymore? Yeah, there's my claymore, but I don't use that anymore. I feel like if your nuts is like a color it shouldn't be, though. That's like, that is, yeah, can I not? Oh, I need more titanite shards. Wait, no, what? Yeah, I need more titanite shards. Okay. What is this? Is this the pinned message? Okay, thank you, Cola. I thought you were making another poll to ratio me. I'm gonna be honest. All I saw from that message, Venom, is Katana and Hennessy. And honestly, I'm about it, you know? Yeah, I guess I don't have enough Titanite shards. Oh wait, no, I do. How much is this? Oh wait, hell yeah, give me 2 of these. I want to reinforce my big pokey thing. Okay, the U in color. Colored with a U? What? How did I spell color wrong? I'm speaking. You can't spell a word wrong if you're speaking it. Jesus Christ. Okay. It's Tuesday, innit, bruv? I'm gonna go. Do they smoke weed in England? Like, I'm sure they do, but like, I don't know. I just like, I can't imagine like. Wait, my phone's British? When did I make my phone British? When? It's illegal? No, but I just can't imagine like a British accent just being like. Actually, no, I can. Okay, yeah. I can imagine, like, yeah, where's my boy? Did you repair my stuff? Yeah, I repaired all my stuff, so we're good. Fucking minion, mate. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, I could picture British people smoking weed. One of my best friends is British, actually. She's probably asleep right now because she's sick and British. Unrelated. But, when she came over, weed's legal in my state. So, like, I could have had a British person smoke weed, but I didn't. We went to, what's it called? We went to Golden Corral instead. I'm Scottish, so I don't sound like that. Oh, well, good for you. No, I'm kidding. So, okay, back to bonfire. Okay, so we were only here then for the repair. And then we go... Wait. So, back down to bonfire. Wait, no? Okay, hold on. I have to... Down? Okay, down. Wait, am I going back to where the Sen's Fortress is down there? Wait! Is this the, Wait. There's a door by... Oh, that's right. There's a door that I can unlock now. The big gate. Oh, onion! Onion! Oh! I remember now. I remember. Speaking of high school stories and weed, by the way, I actually didn't smoke weed in high school, but all the stoners hung out with me because they thought I was really cool. And the reason they thought I was really cool is because they just thought I smoked weed. And they asked me at one point, they're like, hey, Evie, do you want to, like, get lit with us? And I was like, oh, no, I don't smoke weed. And they were genuinely perplexed. They were, hey, what? What the fuck is that? What's going on here? Oh, shit. Okay, this is That is a snake man. Okay, you know, at least it's like a vertical kind of thing. Like, I can just do that. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's not, this isn't bad. This is fine. Oh, shit, okay, well, that's okay. I can tank, like, one more hit. Yeah, they have a pretty big, like, range. Okay, there we go, okay, I didn't mean to do that. Fuck, okay, we're good. Okay, he did his special move. I missed, okay, that's okay. No, shit, okay, we need to, excuse me, sir, I need to drink my juicy juice. I need to have a little treat. Okay, thank you. Capri Sun. Okay, let me just, yeah, we're just gonna brute force that, that's fine. And then you, did I do any damage to you? Oh my god, okay, no I did not. Good to know. Okay, don't bite me. That's cringe. That's a little weird. I don't know you. We just met. Okay? Don't try to bite me already. That's weird. Okay? Have some dignity. Okay? Oh, I'm schmoving. Oh, no. Happy feet. Okay. Haha. Okay. I didn't need to roll there, but I was afraid. Okay? Hey, come here. What, are you afraid of me? Look at his stupid fucking toes. What kind of snake has toes? That's fucked up. Why do you have toes? Get those puppies out of here! That's gross! That's nasty! Shit! Oh, fuck! Okay. That was a little scary, but that's okay. We got through it. Can you... This is my favorite part of Dark Souls. Does he have snake nipples? Let me see. Hold on. I'm trying to see. Let me turn him around. I'm trying to see his nipples. Hold on. Let me... Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Never doubted. Thank you. Does he have the snipples? The snussy? The snock? Yeah, no nipples from here, Chief. No nipples. He's only part snake, don't body shame. So was your mom the cat and your dad was the... Actually, my dad was the cat. Oh my god. Nipples? I've been summoned. I mean, is it just like you happened upon the stream and you heard nipples, or like that's your specific call phrase? Like you've been lurking in the distance and you didn't want to come out until nipples were mentioned. Need some of that sweet, sweet snake milk. Don't snakes make milk? Isn't that real? Like, can't you milk a snake?
No.
David, can you milk a snake?
When people say that, they are referring to venom.
Oh.
They're not mammals.
Forbidden snake milk.
No.
Why is there like that little gap in the stairs? I don't like that. I don't like that. Why? Are you alive? Or are you just chilling? Snakes have 2 penises? Well, they shouldn't be hogging it from everyone else.
So do stingrays.
Stingrays have 2 penises?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Well, that's not fair.
Nature's freaky like that.
Nature's freaky like that. For a half-human woman, too. There's a trap as you walk through. Yeah, I saw that. Okay, Skyrim, I did see the little raised platform thing. I did see that and was like, not gonna step on that. I've learned my lesson. Okay, I don't like this. This freaks me out a little bit. Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh no. Oh, I know. Oh, I'm gonna. Ah! Okay, fine. We're doing it. Fuck. Okay, fuck. Nope. We're not doing it. We're not doing shit. Okay. No! Wait, what? Wait. There's a hole. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what the fuck I expected. What was that? So there's a snake man over there on the little thingy, and then there's a big guy, and I don't know how I feel about the big guy being there. There's a whole party going on there, and I was not invited. It's easy? What do you mean it's easy? Just Chad them? You know, I'm glad that you guys have faith in me. I sure fucking don't. Did I change this to... I don't think I changed this to 144. Hold up. It was lag? Yeah, it was lag, actually. I'm lagging. My ping. I have like 300 ping right now, bro. I have 300 ping. Hi, Nathaniel. Welcome to the fun house. Oh, boy. It never ends, does it? Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Not gonna step on the trap. I guess the snake guys are gone. So with the big snake boys, when they... Oh, that was a lie. Wait, what? Can they trigger the trap? Distract them. Take off your pants. I was trying to think of how to riz up a snake, but I don't know how to riz a snake. Yeah, you do that. You do that, buddy. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay. We're just... Oh, shit! Okay, fuck. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, I can't dodge. Okay, I'm out of stamina. I'm out of juice. Okay, can I... Drinky drink. Okay. Capri Sun. Okay. Come on, just stop being alive. Stop it. Okay, thank you. So there's gonna be one more then. Yeah, we got all up in the snussy. Fuck you. Okay. Get this fucker out of here. Get him out of my sight. Okay. Hey there, sexy. We did discuss the sloppy that could be given by the Loch Ness Monster. And how probably incredible it would be. Probably. What's behind these? Where's the other snake man? Okay, maybe I can kill him in... Can I? Okay, I missed, but that's fine. I'm wondering... Yeah, because I feel like fighting him in here is, like, a dangerous game. You know what I mean? Because, like, there's traps and stuff. So it's like... You know what I mean? Like, I should have dodged there. Okay. Okay, I need to leave. I need soup. Soup! How incredible the slime would be since he's just got teeth and no lips. Wait, I think I triggered a trap, but I think it's fine. Okay, it's fine. You know, my parents watch my streams sometimes, so I really hope they weren't watching the one where I just discussed the head a snake would give. But knowing my luck, they probably are, because I just heard my phone go off, and that can mean a few things. Let's see. Am I in trouble for the things I said on Twitch? Oh, no, okay. Cool. Okay. I wanted to see if my parents heard me talk about Snakehead. I mean, my parents, like, they know I've talked about this before. They know my brand of humor. And they're like, you're funny as fuck. We just kind of have to disconnect from the fact that you're our child when we watch your streams. I'm like, you know, that's fair. They're like, let us just disassociate for a little bit. I'm like, okay. Alright, so there's the souls. Let's see. Okay, we're just gonna have to be aggressive. 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 Okay. Wait, did that work? Oh shit, I'm out of soup. Oh fuck. Even if I do make it, I am out of soup. This is not good. This is bad. This is not good. This is, oh shit. So there's a guy over there. Did you know that? There's a guy. There's a guy there. There's a guy. Lure the snakemen into the axes. Oh, I thought that they couldn't be affected by the trap thing. Okay, that's cool. I didn't know I could do that. Okay, that's smart actually. I just kind of assumed they wouldn't be affected because I figured this game wants to fuck me over in every way possible. Welcome in, gamers that just came in. Hi, guys. Hello. No traps will hurt enemies that just can't activate pressure plates. Okay, good to know. Okay, I'm yawning. Okay. You know, funny enough, this is actually a low energy day for me. This is actually one of my more calmer days. I was tired today before we started stream. I told David, I was like, yeah, I'm feeling kind of low energy today. I hope stream will be okay, because I'm not feeling great, you know? This is low? Yeah. This is... I'm insane. So the fun thing is, for my new people in the chat, and some people actually might know me from this, actually, because I use the same Twitter accounts for them, which is a fun thing. But I'm actually a teacher in real life, and my job, actually, right now, oh shit, is I teach VTubers how to sing for a living, which is a really fun job, and I get to teach all kinds of fun music, you know? But it's always funny, because people usually follow me on Twitter because I post, like, singing threads, and threads about, like, how to be a better singer, and, like, how to read sheet music, and, like, how to understand theory and stuff, you know, because I had a really hard time in music school. So my whole thing is, like, if I can make it more accessible for people, especially as, like, someone that's neurodivergent, you know, that's what I want to do. But the fun fact here is, sometimes students, and even potential students, will come to my stream. And not once has a student come to my stream and left without thinking that I am clinically insane afterwards. And, I think about that a lot. I'm gonna be honest. I do think about that a lot. It is really fun, though. It is very fun. But next year is my last year in the public school system. And then after that, I'm gonna be teaching VTubers and making content full-time. And I'm very excited. I don't think I ever questioned it. Thank you, Munch. Thank you, Munch. As one of my students enters the chat. Okay. So the bonfire is far away. Good to know. But now we know that we can bring the snake guys into the fucking, what's it called? Into the stabby thing. So there's that. I think we'll just need to bait. And I think as long as we can bait, we'll be okay. Because now that I know that, that's good info, you know? Kill the fire wheel boss? What is that? If you have a bow, that could help a lot. Well, I don't have that. Okay. Hi. Wait, can I? Oh, perfect. Okay. Okay, I think he got hit by one of them. Okay. How's he doing? Okay, I think he's dead. I didn't want to turn around and then he, like, still be there. Okay. Fuck yeah. Okay, there we go. Now we're cooking. Okay. We were cooking. Leave me alone! I am just a little guy. Okay. I don't like him. Why is he so mean to me? Everything's mean to me in Dark Souls. It's fucking Dark Souls. Oh, and my souls are up there. Fantastic. What a great location. Okay. I can sprint. Oh, yeah. I forgot. Okay. You. Mr. Wizard Man. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. Let me get that timing. Okay. Oh, shit. Okay. Fuck. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, okay. Happy feet. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna hit him. Hit him. Okay, I stepped on a trap, but it's fine. Okay. What? Here we go. Okay. That was stressful. Oh, Titanite shards. Hell yeah. Okay. We are very low, and I don't like that. And I don't think the bonfire is anywhere close by, which is okay. Oh! Was that supposed to happen? Oh shit. Well, at least they got him started for me, I guess. Okay, there's just a big ass rock there. That's good then. No! Oh fuck! Okay, shit. I don't like being in tight quarters. I don't like being in close quarters. Here, give me some room. Give me a wide berth. Okay? Oh shit. Let me lock on. I need to lock on! Okay, there we go. Here we go. Okay. Stamina. Okay, alright, here we go. Oh, fuck, he shielded me. Okay, shit. No! Okay, that was close. So, what is the goal for stream now? Is the stream goal now to clear the fucking place we're in right now? What is this place called? I forgot. What is this place? I forgot already. I want a treat. The goal is fun. I'm having a great time. I'm having a fantastic fucking time. To get to 150 deaths? Oh, we'll absolutely do that. Sen's Fortress, we want to get to get through, so we need to just get through the end. Okay, this is the only way you progress. Fantastic. Can I make this bonfire, like, better? I kind of want to, because this is getting me fucked up. Where's my humanity? Give me this shit. Give me this shit. Twin humanities. Perfect. Okay. Kindle? No, fuck. Reverse hollowing. What's the fire wheel? I still don't know what it is. Kindle. Amazon Kindle. I would like to read. Okay. Well, that should help. Hopefully. That should hopefully do butt fuck something. Read these flames. Oh, God. Alright. Hopefully that will help. And maybe, I'm wondering if maybe I can bait the snake boys from up there into the traps. I'm wondering if that would work. Because I feel like I'm taking way too much damage from the snake boys. You know what I mean? And actually, wait, do I still have the Titanite shards I had before? Because I'm wondering... standard weapon. I'm wondering if... No, because the large Titanite chunks aren't going to work on my weapon, right? Because I'm wondering if I could, like, reinforce my weapon even more. Here, let's try this. I don't know if this is going to work. But it's a strat, if nothing else. Hello, lads! Follow me! Come to the party! There's a party! Come to the party! You want to come to the party so bad! Oh my god, you want to come to the party? Oh my god, do you want to come to the party? Do you want to come to the party? Do you want to come to the party? Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Come to the party! It's a very fun party! There's gonna be shortcake! And, hookers! I don't know. What do people like? I like strawberry shortcake and I like hookers. What happened to the other guys? Are they just not gonna come here? Alright, if you don't want to go to the party, that's fine. Like, it's not like I wanted you to come. Like, fuck you, you know? I don't know. I had someone in chat one time call me a tsundere. And for one, I think it's very funny whenever people use, like, anime terms to describe me. Because for one, I'm very Caucasian. Like, I'm from Florida, you know? Like, sometimes people will be like, oh my god, fucking damn it. Sometimes people will come in and they'll be like, oh my god, Eebee-chan. And I'm like, I am Caucasian. I am white. But I had someone call me a tsundere one time. It's like, I'm not a tsundere. I think the word you're looking for is fucking bitch, actually. But I always thought it was funny when people called me that. And, like, I kind of get it because, like, I'm anime, you know? Like, I have the VTuber thing going on. But, like, I've posted myself... God damn it. That was very mean. I did not like that. Oh my god! Okay. I did not like that. I did not appreciate it. I want to go home. That was very rude, and I didn't like it. But yeah, I always thought that was funny. You know, like people be like, oh my god, Eebee-chan's so kawaii. It's like, I am a 23-year-old woman from Florida, built like the fucking hippo from Madagascar. That is... If you want that, then like cool, I respect it. But like I don't think I don't think you. Oh my. I'm gonna kill myself in Minecraft. I hate it here. I have the strat now. I'm just dumb. Okay. I'm just dumb. I'm just stupid. Okay, and that's just... you said you're a masochist for mean girls with big titties. That's true. Burn souls and reinforce your weapon to +6. Okay, how do I... Let's do that, actually. Because I think I have enough souls for it. Well, okay. Let's go back. And let's get my old souls. And then we can burn other souls. I think that we'll do that. This area is legit hard. Don't beat yourself up about it. I mean, like, I got through Blighttown. You know, like, part of my mentality is, like, I got through Blighttown. If I could do Blighttown, I can do fucking anything, okay? I could be president, okay? I could literally go, like, climb a mountain if I can do Blighttown, okay? You can kick dudes off ledges. Oh, I forgot about that. Okay, here we go. Come to the party! Party at my house! Come on! Come to the party! Come to the party! Are they just not gonna go? Oh, he's coming. Okay. Is he gonna follow, like, up? Oh, yes, he is. Okay. Party time. Party time. Go to the party. Come to the party. I'm gonna be the prettiest girl at the party. Come to the party. Did he come to the party? Okay, he's coming to the party. Okay. Do you want to come to the party? Come to the party. Okay, come to the party. Come to the party. All right, come here. Come here. Okay, come here. Yes. Very fun. This is I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Okay, that worked. Fantastic. Okay, let's just get our happy ass out of here. Get my souls, and then go back. Oh my god! Ah! This sure is a video game. Hi Boston, hi Cupcake. I'm having a bad time. I don't know what anyone expected, but this is something. Let me hydrate again. You don't have to worry about fetching your soul. Yeah, this is okay. I know what to do. I have a plan, but like, I don't think I have enough souls to like. Oh, this is acquire many souls. Okay, you know what? Let's try it. Fuck it. Use item. Go boy girl. Sensory video in Wench's time? Yeah, I need to watch a sensory video and then I need to look at some titties to calm down. Is that not like the standard way of de-stressing? Because that's what I do, you know? If it doesn't work for you, then go fuck yourself. It works for me. I'm kidding! That was a joke! I love you! I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Don't go fuck yourself. Or do, if that's what you're into, you know? I'm not gonna judge. We've established that. I don't kink shame, you know? As long as you're not being, like, cringe, then, like, you're good, you know? Just don't be cringe, and you're fine. Okay. I have the souls. How do I get to... How do I get to...
You seem to need anything forged.
You kink shame the fuck out of cat fucker? Of course I kink shame the cat fucker! He fucked the cat! What do you want me to do in that situation? Be like, well, different strokes for different folks? No, that's a felony! It's not kink shaming if it's a felony! Okay. I would like to modify my weapon. So how do I get the Titanite shards to do the thing? Like how do I break them down or whatever? You beat this area in the next one and you'll be rewarded with a giant woman with even bigger titties and she'll give you fast travel. Thank fucking Christ. Cause I have souls. It's a reinforced weapon. Yeah, that's a great big boy thingy. Reinforce. That's all my options. Is it reinforce armor? Modify equipment maybe? Oh, sure. Yeah, there we go. Okay, hell yeah. Alright, it has been modified. Change equipment stats. Ascend to raw halberd. What does raw halberd mean? Have you killed the Black Knight with a I have no idea. Okay, don't do that. Okay. What? Yeah, okay, we'll leave the fucking chorus of no's in the chat. Raw makes it raw?
Neither of us want to see you go home.
Well, I don't like it raw, so we don't want that. Yes, I'm aware of how that sounds. I know. Haha, funny anime woman makes sex joke. More at 11. Raw means no up for oh, I don't want that. Okay. She doesn't even get pregante. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is up, but has this been like an off week for anyone else? Because the vibes have just been like absolutely rancid for me this week. I got sick on Monday, and I had to cancel a bunch of my lessons because I threw up. I don't even know what the fuck happened. Okay, actually, I think I know what happened. So basically, what happened is I'm making these Starbucks egg bites, right? So y'all know me. I'm a drink girly, okay? I need to have a little drinky, a little treat at all times, or else I will go absolutely fucking feral, right? And one of the things I really like is Starbucks, right? I don't know. One of the things I really like is Starbucks is the little egg bite things, right? The bacon and Gruyere egg bites. I don't know if I'm saying that cheese right, okay? But the thing is for 2 of them, it's $5, right? Now, I don't know about you. I do not have that kind of money, okay? Yeah, the retrieval of nothing. Fantastic. I don't have that kind of fucking money, right? So basically, my thought was I'm gonna find a copycat recipe on the internet, and then I'm gonna make them my damn self, right? I don't need Starbucks to make them for me. They can't be hard. It's like bacon, eggs, and some cheese, right? How could I possibly fuck that up, right? So, first time I made them, one of the things that's like the iconic part about the egg bites is they're... Why does this keep happening to me? Why? I would like a break, please. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, well. We're almost at 150. Yay, 150 deaths. Welcome in, honey. 150 deaths. Give it up for 150 deaths. Woo! Hey, David.
What?
If we get to 150 deaths, can you take me to the gas station again?
No. We just went to the gas station.
Can we go again?
I don't have any fucking money.
Okay. No gas station. I just wanted a slushie for my sins. But we don't got slushy money.
You'll get a slushie when you get good.
Wait. So if I clear this area, can we go gas station?
No, I said get good.
Man,
That's gonna be a while.
what classifies me getting good?
Once I've decided that you have learned.
Well, that's fucked up. You're not even watching the stream. You're playing Diablo, David.
Oh yeah? What's this?
He turned around really dramatically for those who cannot see. And by those who cannot see, I mean literally fucking
Everybody
everyone, because I have a VTuber model. David didn't get to say get good in what category. Oh, fuck. Oh, I'm a gamer. Okay. Oh, I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer. I'm gaming. Okay, yes. Die. Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, fuck. Okay, just, fuck. Okay, I am not a gamer, actually. No! Okay. It's okay. We're gaming. Okay, if you leave the game and rejoin the enemy... Oh, interesting. Okay. We'll have 2 soup. Get this guy the fuck out of here. And then we will continue... Oh my god, wait, what the fuck? Where did you come from? Okay, but to the party. We're going to the party. That worked literally every time except this one. Okay, you know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and thinking things will change. So, do what you will with that information. Are you dead now? Is he dead? He should be dead now. I want him to be dead now because I don't like him and I think he's smelly. Is he still going? Yeah, fuck you. Go fuck yourself, okay? Jesus Christ. Okay. Now this one. This one I think I can just kill. This one I think I'm fine with, honestly. Okay. And then there's gonna be that big boulder. Oh, Jesus Christ. Here, maybe, yeah, these things, the big swingy thingies are actually helping me in this scenario. Okay. Bonk. Okay, there we go. Trap. Oh, trap! Okay, I see now. Okay. We're doing all right. Having a good time. Having a good time. Are you alive? Yeah, you are. Are you gonna kill me? You know what? You're just chilling. I respect that. Okay. So I guess I have to go the other way, because this is not the way, it seems. It's kind of a dead end. So I guess we have to go past the big rock thingy. Wasn't there a guy over here? Yeah, so I should probably go really fast, because there's probably going to be another rock. Oh my god! Indiana Jones! Okay, that didn't work the way... Wait, cum wall! There's a cum wall over there. Wait, cum wall? Should we go through the cum wall? Cum wall? Do we go through the cum wall or do we go up here? Okay, cum wall time. What's behind the cum wall? Okay, nothing crazy it looks like. See, because sometimes cum wall means boss, you know? Wait, what? Oh, wait, what's happening? Wait, where did I trigger the trap? Where'd that come from? Hi, Crowns! Welcome, we just passed the cum wall. You know it's gonna be a good time when there's a cum wall involved. Okay, now I'm in the ring. I would like to leave the ring, please. I don't want to go here anymore. What's up here? Maybe if I just outrun him, he'll like get tired, you know? Wait, this is where the thing is. The guy with the ball. Wait. Okay, here. Now that I've got some wait. Oh, come over here. Come over here. Wait. I want the ball to fall on him. Oh, how do I get the ball to fall on him? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait. What? Oh. Which direction is it gonna go? Okay, is it random? Oh. Okay. Please don't go this direction. Okay. Sippy? It's not random? Okay. Is it always this one then? I guess it's always that one. Yes! Okay. Do it again. Come on. Ball. Go. Fuck. Okay. Alright. Okay. Let's see. Alright, let's see if we can get him to come over here. Here, we'll lead him in this direction. Come on. He's balling. It goes this way, right? Yeah. Okay. Actually, I think I can just kill him. Yeah! Get fucked, idiot. Okay. Perfect. Alright. Where is the lever? Okay, here we go. Push the lever. Okay, we can do this. Chat. Okay, which way do I need to go now? I forgot already. Okay, so not that way, I guess. It was this way? No. This way? Well, not that way. I guess this way then. Oh wait, there's a little thingy over here. That's a pressure plate. I don't want to go that way. Here we go. Isn't this where I came from, though? You can send the balls off the cliff if you want. That's actually really smart. Turn the lever so it dumps the ball. Okay. Push it again. Now where will it go? Let me see. Let me get in, like, a corner. Okay, ball. Okay, this place is a tower, so the goal go up. Is that the right direction, then? Goal go up. Okay. And this is where... Well, that's going down. Shoots the opposite of the level. Okay. Do I want to go? Oh, wait, shit. Oh, I think I see what you're saying. Okay. So the lever's there. So it's going to come out this way then, right? Yeah, okay. I feel like I should go over there, but I also see those raised pressure plates, and I don't like that. Do I have to cross over here? Is that the bit I have to go over? And I just get my ass handed to me and I just accept it? Because I don't want that. I'm like afraid. Use your shield. Oh, okay. Hee. Oh. Well, that could have been worse. Are you a friend? Okay, that's just a guy. Okay, I don't know why I was so afraid. I'm just like, we've made it so far. I don't want to do this again. Wait, haven't I been here before? No, this is new. This is... Oh, Okay. Let's see. Anyone behind me? Oh, there's a guy. And there's another guy. Can I go this way instead? No. Oh, he's coming. Oh, Lord, he's coming. Okay. Oh, they're both coming. Oh, shit. Okay, can we go to the party? Can we go to the party? Can we send them to the party? Oh, shit. Okay, fuck. Okay, wait. Okay, I didn't know this was the direction I could go. Oh, shit. Okay, I fucked myself. Oh, I fucked myself. Oh, I'm fucked. Ah! Okay, this is worse, actually. This is actually worse. I can't see anything. Oh, fuck. Okay. Goodbye, glasses. It was going so well, too. It was going so well. There it is! 150 deaths! Give it up for 150 deaths! Woo! Yeehaw! 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 150 deaths! Thank you for the stretch of the hydrate. Welcome, Hines. Yeehaw! I need a Baja Blast for this shit. Can you guys give me 1 second to fill up my water and go get a Baja Blast? Because I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I can do this with nothing. Took me 226 total deaths to beat Dark Souls 3. Oh my god. Am I halfway or no? Here. No?
No.
Okay. I'm going to go get a Baja Blast. I will be back in like 2 minutes, okay? Give me, it's 3 minutes, okay? 3 minutes and I will be right back, okay? I'm not even halfway. God fucking damn it. Okay, well. Steven! Thank you for the Prime Sub Gamer. We're playing Dark Souls and I'm at 150 deaths. We're gonna be, you have a PlayStation 2 now. Congratulations. We're gonna be right back after this, what do you mean, bruh? The fuck you mean, bruh? What do you mean? But thank you, gamer. Now I feel bad about doing. I'm gonna do. Okay, promise me you won't leave me if I put on. I'm gonna. Okay, it'll be one. Give me 1 minute. I just need to go get a Baja Blast. Okay, I can't do this alone. How often in stream do you die? I don't want to talk about it. That's a very personal question. Here, you know what? I'll put on here while I'm gone. I'll put on the baby sensory music for you while I go get my Baja Blast. Okay, because I need a Baja Blast right now. Okay, here you go, bud. There we go. Put that on there. Oh, hell yeah. I promise. I promise. Oh, shit. My BGM. There you go. I'll be right back. I promise. Okay? Was that bad? I even forgot to turn the ad on, so you didn't even get an ad break. I'm just that nice, okay? All right, are you ready? Are we ready to continue this journey? Do you think we can go on? Because you know what? You know what? Everyone shut the fuck up. Everyone shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up right now. Let's fucking go. Okay. I'm Baja blasted and I'm ready to fucking party. I dropped my controller on the floor. What the fuck? Wait, shit. I don't know where my controller is. Wait, I dropped it on the... What?
It's under your chair.
Oh, thank you, dear. Wait, where? Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. I'm a big boy. I'm smart. I'm capable. Where are my glasses? Oh, I dropped those on the floor too, but we don't need them. Where we're going, we don't need glasses, okay? All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring them to the party, okay? That is my strat, okay? We're going to the fucking party, okay? Here, shall we go through here? Come in. Hello? 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 Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Okay? Party time! Party time! Come to the party! Come to the party! Ah! Okay. Yeah! Yeah! Party time! Party time! Okay. Now we just gotta get the other one to come to the party, okay? Cause I don't think I triggered him, but I was afraid of getting shot. See, he's blasting and I don't like it. Stop blasting. Okay, come here. Okay, do you want to come to the party? You're invited. We have strawberry shortcake and hookers. Come here, okay? Come here. And Baja Blast. Do you think I could get Baja Blast? Do you think I could get Mountain Dew to sponsor me? I made a joke on Twitter the other day, and someone told me that I should get a sponsorship from Hidden Valley Ranch, and I thought that was the funniest shit on the planet. Cause like, every VTuber I feel like gets sponsored by like Gamer Fuel, or like NordVPN or some shit. How many VTubers have been sponsored by Hidden Valley Ranch? I would like to be the first. I think I'd be a good proponent to have my face on a bottle of fucking ranch. Okay? I think I'd look great up there, right? And I love ranch. I stand by the product. Y'all know I am a do or die bitch for ranch, okay? I love fucking ranch. I've literally gone on rants. I've gone on ranch rants on stream about how much I love restaurant quality ranch, okay? The best kind of ranch, okay? So like I would be a great, like, I do great. You know, you use code EEBEE and get EB Games Ranch, okay? What would EB Games Ranch taste like? What do you think EB Games Ranch would taste like? Probably bad, honestly. EB Games Ranch tastes like disappointment. EB Games Ranch tastes like autism. Yeah. Okay, is there still a guy over here? No. Okay. Let's go. Wait, there's a guy. Wait. Why is it wet? Did you hear that? Oh. Oh, okay. You. Okay. Stop being wet. Stop being wet. No more wet. No wet. No wet. Get out of here. Okay. You got a Beepus? Fuck yeah. You can't watch an EB game stream without a drinky. Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, okay. This is why I threw up on Monday, okay? I made Starbucks egg bites, right? I'm a drink girly. I gotta have a drinky at all times or I will shit my pants. Wait, hold on. What is this? Ring of Steel Protection. What is that? Put it on? Where's the ring? Oh wait, it's in the ring category. I'm fucking stupid. Boost defense versus physical attacks. Wait, what about Evil Eye? Which one's better, Steel Protection or Evil Eye? Because I like free HP. I like free shit. Wait, which is better? The Steel Protection? Okay, we'll do Protection. Protection. I'm not getting any bitches pregnant. Wait, what? Why can't I use it? Oh, it's because I have this on. Okay, wait. Why can't I? What? Wrong menu. Oh! I'm smart. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. I know how to play video games. I'm a gamer, okay? My name is EB Games. It's in my fucking name. Okay. Oh, I got a little blue shield now. Okay, that's cool. Where was I going? Oh, this actually is not the direction to go. Okay, we're gonna go this way. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, secret. Oh, this was the cum wall. Ooh, I see what's happening now. Okay, and there's that trap over there. And then there's that guy over there. Are you gonna come hang out? Yeah, why don't you come hang out? And why don't you come right here, and you're gonna get hit by the... Why don't you go get hit by a rock, okay? Go get hit by a rock. Get fucked! Oh, get fucked! Okay, now I think I have to fight him. I'm afraid if I... Here. That was honestly kind of disgusting of me, but that's okay. That guy looks like a fursuit and a dancing tube man had a baby. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Wait, which ring? You should kill how? I think I did kill Havel. Didn't I kill him? I thought I did. I don't know. Is Eebee pro backseating? Here's the thing. I'm pro backseating as long as you're nice to me. And the reason for that is if there was no backseating, we would be here for 8 fucking hours. I allow backseating because I'm a fucking dumbass. Just be nice about it. That's my thing. Like if you're like, hey Eebee, hey girly, hey slay pussy queen, you need to go this way instead of going the way that you're going right now. That's fine. But if you're like, Eebee Games, you're a fucking idiot. Go fucking kill yourself. Then I'll probably cry, for one. Oh, are you wait! It's the opposite! That's rude. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. That was very mean. Okay. Oh, there's another woman. Okay! Oh my god. Oh. Fucking no. Hold on. Where's the hold on. I want to take a break. That had me so fucking mad. Put the baby sensory videos back on. I don't like this one. Who are these? These aren't the fruits. I like the fruits. Who the fuck is that? What is that? What is that? Yeah, that's what I want. Thank you. That's what I want to fucking see. That's what I... Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. A radish? What's rad about it? Oh, it's a root plant? I've never had I don't think I've ever eaten a radish before. Oh my god, look at him fucking go. Look at him go. Okay. We're gonna take a minute. We're gonna breathe. Everything is fine. They're spicy and they taste like a burp. That sounds awful. Why do you want to eat that? What the fuck? David, have you ever eaten a radish?
What?
Have you ever eaten a radish?
Yes, I have had a radish.
What are your thoughts on it?
They're okay.
Yeah, you would.
Why are you watching the baby?
Because I needed to take a break! I got ran over by balls! I got balled on, so to speak.
Have you considered getting good?
Shut up, David! Okay. Okay, it's fine. We had our break. Gonna take a sippy. David should also ball on you, I think. I don't deserve it. He's just gonna call me stupid.
I'm not gonna call you stupid, but I am gonna call you bad at Dark Souls.
Yeah, he's not even gonna take me to gas station. It's fucked up. I asked David to take me to a gas station and he said no. It's fucked up.
We don't have gas station food money.
It's fucked up, David.
Okay, fine.
It's fucked up.
Sure.
Should take me to a gas station.
I don't think I will.
I work hard to make this house a home.
Do you also work hard at being bad at Dark Souls?
Yeah.
Well,
It's a full-time job, baby. We love gas station. I don't know. I still stand by the fact Sheetz is better than Wawa. You can disagree with me all you want. It's okay to be wrong. Everyone makes mistakes. I like David's voice. You and me both, bro. Sheetz is better than Wawa. Sheetz is the fucking GOAT. And if you think Wawa is better, then I don't know what the fuck to tell you. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Why isn't she getting the anti-magic shield from the asylum? I don't know what that is, broski. I don't even know what that is. I don't even know where is the asylum? What is that? Oh my god. How loyal is David? I mean, $20 is $20, you know? Like, that's all. Can you stop hitting me? Stop. Stop! 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 Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. 152. 152. Stop standing in the same spot and trying to heal. Shut up. That makes sense. Stop being smart. Not allowed here. You're not allowed to be smart here. Welcome back, gamers. He's only $20. I mean, like, David.
What?
Would you cheat on me for a McChicken?
No.
Well, there you have it. He's very loyal then.
We've been over this. My price is stated at $100,000.
Gaslight geek
There you
girl
go.
boss.
Alright, welcome to the stream, gamer. You're not Gaslight Geek Girl Boss. David is willing to be a whore for $100,000. That's what we've learned today. What about 2 McChickens, David?
You drive a hard bargain.
Would you cheat on me for 2 McChickens?
Would you forgive me if I gave you one of the McChickens afterwards?
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Then maybe.
Hell yeah. Well, there you have it, folks. 2 McChickens and, he's yours, I guess. Pimping out your boy. Listen. I'm not pimping out my boyfriend on Twitch. However, $20, 2 McChickens is 2 McChickens. 100,000. Yeah, it's $100,000 or wait, is it $100,000 or 2 McChickens or $100,000 and 2 McChickens?
Well, it's.
You can't say both.
But I get the 2 McChickens up front.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's like a dowry. 2 McChickens for your hand. Wait, that word doesn't mean what I think it means. Hold on. Wait, I have to think. Okay, no more thinking about McChickens and being a slut. I need to do this. Hold on. It's really 1 McChicken if he gives you the other one. Yeah, but like it's not your business what he does with the McChickens, right? This is a business transaction. You know? So like if he wants to give me one of the McChickens, what does that have to do with the transaction? You know, what does that have to do with the business? Right? Like that's fine. Isn't this where the That's right. That lady. I don't like that lady. I'm gonna be honest. And she's kind of looking a little menacing standing up there. However, she hates women compared. No, I love women. Just not that one. That one scares me. Did you talk to the Onion Knight? I don't think we've talked to Onion Knight in a hot minute. But I feel like, I can't remember if we did, honestly. Okay, get out of here. No one likes you. Okay, there we go. The Onion's on the right. I just don't remember. Scary Snick waifu. Onion Knight's in here. I like Onion Knight. I feel like maybe we did, maybe we didn't. I honestly don't remember. Okay, so we got rid of the snake lady. Now where do I go? Because I thought this is where... Okay, cum wall is here. This was the cum wall. Remember that. And then, oh, I remember. Okay, can I walk backwards? Can I just, I guess not. We're just gonna... Oh shit, there's 3. That's right. Oh, fuck, there's a guy. Oh, there's a dude. Okay, hi. I was like, oh shit, no, I wanted to roll the other way. Everything is fine. I'm not panicking. I'm not panicking. Okay? Everything is A-okay. Cool beans. Okay? Everything is fine. Alright? Everything is fine. Does the cum walk come in peace? No. The cum walk comes in like... What's the opposite of peace? Unpeace. Yeah. That sounds right. Hostility. Okay, you know what? That sounds a lot better than what I came up with. That makes more sense. Okay, we're just going over here. Makes you come in pieces. Hey, you. Okay. Please be unalive. Please, yeah, alivened. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let me, here, sir. Come to the party. Okay, come to the party. Oh, shit! I think I'm getting tilted. Like, I don't want to be dramatic here, but I do think I might be getting tilted at Dark Souls. Because here's the thing, is like, we all know I'm like a certain level of stupid all the time, but this is like advanced stupid. Welcome to Tilted Towers. Oh my god. Okay. We're gonna give it one more try. Okay? One more try. And we're gonna just see what happens. Okay? One more try. And then I will enjoy my Baja Blast in peace. Okay? Alright. One more try. No more tilted towers. Okay? No more tilted towers. This fortress is canonically built to fuck with people. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, okay. I feel like everything in Dark Souls is built to fuck with you. You know? There can be no peace. Fun? Oh, I haven't heard that name in years. You know? Alright, let's go over here. Hello, Mr. Snake Man. Hi, Mr. Snake Man. Come to the party. You can be the prettiest girl at the party. Yay! Yay! Oh, shit. Yay! Yay! Ah, yes, retrieving my souls. My 0 souls. Oh, fantastic. Okay, stand right here. Yeah. All right, slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race. Huh? Huh? Okay, now we're cooking. All right, now we're cooking. All right, wait for that to go. Okay. Man. 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 There was like something I wanted to play, but I couldn't remember the name of it. I wanted to shit post with you guys, but I deadass couldn't remember the name of it. You know what you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. Okay? Here's what we're gonna do. Okay? We are gonna oh shit, my hands. Oh fuck. Ignore my canonically large or comedically large hands. Does crossplay work on Dark Souls? I have no idea, bro. But gamers, I think I am officially tilted. And when I am tilted, I will continue to do the same thing over and over and over again and then be upset. So, have I gotten to the point of just straight up anger and rage like we did last time with Blight Town? No. But I'm not having fun, I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to play anymore. I'm good. You know, I think tonight we're gonna call it there for tonight. And and next week we will, let's be honest, okay? The goal here, we still passed our goal for today, okay? My goal was to get to Firelink, and we did get to Firelink, okay? We did get to Firelink. That was my goal, okay? But, we didn't get very far past that, okay? So, Thank you. We didn't meet our goal. We did. But thank you, gamers, so much for hanging out with me. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to keep up with me, we do have a community Discord. We're going to start doing sub-events and community events again soon. I just need to figure out when, just because I've been really packed with work and stuff like that. But if you want like notifications for when I stream and all that jazz, hi, my name is Eebee Games. I play games. I mostly play Skyrim, but right now we play Dark Souls every Wednesday until I get mad. We play on Saturdays. We play either Pathfinder with my friends that's DM'd by Dave, or we play Fallout New Vegas with Dave. Saturday is the Dave day, so if you like Dave, come back Saturday. This week we were going to do Pathfinder, but 2 of our players have to go out of town, so we're going to do more Fallout New Vegas instead. And then Sunday is Skyrim Sunday, but I also stream on Fridays on YouTube. So if you would like to come, we'd play another, we play a different, Skyrim playthrough on YouTube. So I stream 4 days a week. All those streams are at 6:30 p.m. EST. If you'd like to follow me on other miscellaneous social media, you can do that here. I'm very tired. I don't know if you can hear it. I know that it's like a meme, but this genuinely was a low energy day for me, and I think I'm just like tapped. So gamers, let's go see who we can raid. We'll raid Yoro, I think. Let's raid Yoro. What is she playing? I don't know what she's playing. We'll raid her. Please give her the same love and affection that you give me. We're gonna make our raid message. The fuck are we gonna make our raid message? I don't know how we're making our raid message. I'm gonna be honest. Let's do I don't know. We can just keep it simple. Let's keep it simple. Eebee Games raid. Eebee Games raid. There we go. And if you have a emotes, please use the autism creature, because I like autism creature. Okay? Okay. Gamers, I will see you on Saturday, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye bye!